Hey, what's up, guys? Orange Pylon here, and welcome to another Pylon stream. Like the title says, we got some ACC planned. I'm not going to be playing with the steering wheel today. I'm going to be trying it out with controller. So I hope everything works out recording. I have it downloaded, so I'm just going to load it up. We'll be playing it with Razer 8K. Let me see if I could find it. There we go. Oh, and our controller is working. Nice. Where is there no? There's no servers. Oh, there we go. There's a lot of ping in a lot of these servers. Valhalla Racing. Let's join this one. Error occurred. That's still good. I don't like the Nürburgring. Try Monza. My control's not working. We gotta set up our controls. Gamepad. I don't know what all these buttons do. We just need throttle. Where's your basic throttle? Car systems, electronics, lighting, view. Traction control. Engine map. There's no throttle. go. Oh yeah.
Warning for exceeding track limits.
The import's very like direct. That sucks. Alright, this is too hard. Maybe we don't play ACC. Well, I gave it a shot. It's not as fluid as I imagined it would be. Coffee's already cold. I mean, we do have a Monza 5 racing wheel, but I don't feel like setting it up and playing with it. What do we feel like doing? My drawing tablet ready? There, that's kind of like my... Why is there two screens? Oh, my full monitor. Let's do this. My Apple Pencil dead? No.
Nevertheless,
as an artist to stand or sit closer to an easel, which prevents seeing the whole artwork and noticing mistakes. The biggest improvement Louise can make is to learn constructive drawing. She has difficulties with the linear and aerial perspective. The aerial perspective is totally absent here, while the linear perspective is reversed. These lines are not converging, but diverging. This is a very junior mistake. Apart from constructive drawing, Louise also needs to work on her style of tonal rendering. The main purpose of tonal rendering is to reveal objects' three-dimensional construction. This is not the case in her drawings. This brings us to the comment by her teacher about loosening up a style. You cannot loosen up what you don't have.
What am I watching?
And
Essential tips and tricks. Let's find a good video to watch and draw with. I wanted to draw a soccer player. So let me see if I can draw that. I need to log in though to pin interests. full of inspiration on Pinterest. I don't know how people do it. I'm not like visualizing anymore. I'm just, I don't know what's going on. I can't. You guys can't see that. Oh, this is a nice one of a cat. Let's do one of them bending forward. It's like kind of like this, not really. This page looks so beautiful, I don't want to erase it. I feel like I'm past the box stage, but maybe I'm not. My pen is not registering. Yeah, I like with a lot of perspective in picture and photos, but I never really practice it, so I'm trying to see if I can practice it a little bit. I like the 3/4 view. Let me see if I can make it like tilt up. I guess that's kind of how it tilts up, right? Hey, now I'm getting something drawing the center line here. I haven't drawn this one yet. Or have I? That's a nice box. like purple. Kind of goes like inwards, right? All right, let's take a break. Let's take a break. I'll just show this for now. So how are you guys doing? What kind of phone do you guys have? Huh? I'm curious to know what kind of phone do you guys have? I should ask Jim Jam what kind of phone he has because he plays Delta Force. They say in art everything can be broken down into simple shapes. So if you practice the simple shapes and the curves of the shapes, you should be able to draw anything, right? Pinterest is like full of. Let me show you guys this. What I'm looking at. Full of things. But I don't know how you see shapes differently. Like it's hard for me to visualize them. Like my mind is not, it's like handicapped right now. It's not seeing things visually. I don't know what I'm drawing, but I'm drawing it. I'm drawing it, folks. I need to check my Amazon, my mom's Amazon package. Coming from Scarborough. Scarborough. Coming from Scarborough. Maybe it should recess. I should be more visualize my stuff more often, you know? You know, when I have an idea, if I ever have an idea, I should start taking out my iPad and drawing it. Just drawing something. Whatever I have, whatever idea, start with blocks or something and just visualize it. I think like when I do the two, I'll be able to like enjoy myself a lot better. I started off okay down here, but then as I went up, I got chicken scratch. I'm out of coffee. I'm gonna go make a tea, guys. Be back. hair. You're like one of those dolls. You know those little dolls? With your hair all thing. You need a haircut. You mean I got a haircut? You gotta get a haircut. I think this shears and goes zoom. I don't know what's wrong with this.
Anytime you use it,
When did I use the oven?
when you make a pizza.
It hasn't been broken that long.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
What happened to your arm here? Will you lay on it? Oh.
I can.
Broken again.
Yeah.
I gotta buy more soup. You like the soup? Huh? Or oats, buy oats. Super oats. You like the soup. I know you like the soup. Okay, we're back. Did you hear that lovely conversation I had with my grandma? So lovely. I don't know if it's the coffee, but I'm just like super stoked today, this morning. I think it's the art. I think it's because I'm getting somewhere with my art. You know, it's not just... I only got one incense left. Let's enjoy it. And I haven't drawn anything. I just drew shapes. I don't need my headphones on right now. I guess it's nice to start off with boxes. I just can't visualize them in different angles. So let's say I want to make a box like tilted like that. I guess I just do that, right? So I want to draw this to this angle, how that angle is. I'm gonna try drawing that. Just boxes, not like anything crazy. Can't see it, there's glare. Very messy. Get rid of all this on the inside. I don't know if I should have started with the top box first. Well, decent. No, not decent, but say this line is off. This line should be like that. I didn't even draw like perspective. It sucks seeing how like maybe I should have visualized it a lot more. Like I guess it's a shark perspective. But when I see something, like when I draw something, I see something else. So like I would draw a box and I'll be trying to draw like a case, like a AirPod case, right? Let's say I'm drawing an AirPod case, and then I'll see like a car in that image, and then I'll start drawing the car instead of drawing the AirPod case. I don't know why I do that, but it just like when I see simple shapes, I see something else, and I don't want to. I want to. I want to stay disciplined, you know. Let me see. Let me learn something about perspectives. Let me switch my.
Today I'm going to be educating you on perspective. Maybe you hear the word perspective and you're like, then this video is for you. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we're going to cover is 1 point perspective. There are 3 different types of perspective that I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to start with 1 point. Okay, so what we're going to do is draw a horizon line and put a dot on it. This dot is called the vanishing point. And what a vanishing point is basically all of your perspective lines are going to point towards this thing and they're going to converge at this point. So here I'm going to do a basic square. That's as good of a square as I can get. So what's going to happen is I'm going to connect all the corners of the square back to the vanishing point. And once you connect the corners, now what you're going to do is you're going to cut out the shape of the cube that you're trying to draw. So let's find the edge of the cube. Now there's the vertical edge and there's the horizontal edge. Okay, and once we set this out, we can trace the cube over and look at that. You have a cube in 3 dimensional space. And what's cool about this is you don't have to put it under the horizon line. You can put it on top of the horizon line. You put it like pretty much anywhere you want on the page. And here is another cube, right? Same logic.
All right, let's try that. So horizon line. We draw a horizon line. So what did he draw? He drew a box. And then he connected all the lines. Oh yeah, that's a little more uniform. Oh, everything is like perfect. Everything is like symmetrical. Well, not symmetrical. Everything is like aligned in the perspective. Let's see, draw a box here. Draw one up here. Let's see if I draw. No. Cool.
Following the same steps. And you can do this basically anywhere on the page. And here I am playing around with some floating cubes. And you can also do different shapes, like a triangle or a cylinder. So this is it. This is 1 point perspective. Now moving on to 2 point perspective. And it's all in the name. 2 point means 2 vanishing points. So we're going to do a horizon line again. And we're going to put down 2 separate points. So here's point number 1 and point number 2. Once you have the 2 points down, now you can find the middle edge of the cube that you're going to draw. So here is my edge. And what you're going to do is connect each end of the, you have to be able to connect it. And so there you go, connect it. And I can't draw a straight line apparently, but yeah, connect the ends of the line, the middle line, to your vanishing points. And now when you have this, figure out where you're going to cut out the cube. So here's this another vertical line where I'm going to determine is the edge of the cube. And once I set this line, I'm going to connect the ends, the tops of these lines back to the vanishing points, and they're going to be connecting to the opposite vanishing points. Okay, so now once we trace this shape out, look at that, we have a cube. We can erase the exterior lines, the grid that we were basing this off of, and look at that. That's a cube in 2-point perspective.
Let's try that. But I don't know how to implement it into like real drawings. I guess if I draw it like draw one over here. What happened? What's going on with my stream?
And I'm going to do a second one on top of the horizon line. So this one is going to look like it's floating. And it's basically the same logic as the first one. Find the middle edge and then find the outer edges. And then connect the edges to the opposite vanishing points. And once you have that, you can trace the shape out. And look at that. You have a floating cube. And that is 2-point perspective. So now moving on to the 3-point perspective. And it's exactly as the name says. It's 3 vanishing points. And it's not going to be as hard as it seems. So we're going to start again with a horizon line and 2 vanishing points. And we're going to find the edge of the cube that we're going to draw. Okay. And once you do this, it's pretty much the same process as you would do for a 2-point perspective. So you would connect the ends of this line back to the vanishing points, and then you would find the edge of the cube. So the outer edges of the cube, and I'm just going to mark them right there, and I'm connecting them back to the opposite vanishing points. But what's going to be different is we're going to add a third vanishing point to the bottom, okay? And what this is going to do is we're going to be connecting the outer edges of the cube back down to this vanishing point. And same thing, we're going to just trace over the outlines of the cube, and now you can see it's really coming together. It's looking like a very exaggerated perspective. And I'm just going to show you guys where you might be able to use 3-point perspective. Okay, so here is going to be a little city scene, and we're looking at it from the sky, top down. And here's building number 1. Notice how I'm following the 3-point perspective grid loosely, but I'm still following it. And there's building number 2, building number 3 right there, and we're going to put a little street at the bottom and Spider-Man swinging from the sky. So there is my Spider-Man. That is the best I can do. And and he is swinging from a web down into the city. Okay, and now you two can draw Spider-Man. Demonstration number 2, I'm going to do a
See what I like for this video.
I'm going to be applying this to a little train yard scene or a train station scene. So here is going to be the front of the train. Okay, I'm drawing the front of the train, and notice how I put down the perspective grid first because it's important to know the angles of all the edges that you're going to be drawing. And what's really interesting is if you look at the spaces between these grid lines, you're going to see that as they get closer to you, the spaces also get bigger and things get smaller as they get further away. So this is like the same logic in real life, right? If you're looking at something close to you, it's going to be way bigger than if it was farther away. So this is a good thing to keep in mind. This is important because we're drawing on a two-dimensional surface. We're not able to actually convey real depth. So we have to keep in mind the things that make things look like they're in three-dimensional space and lie to our audiences and make them think that our drawings are three-dimensional when they're actually not. And take note of the windows on this train. I'm also following the perspective lines for them as well. So you want to make sure that every detail you put on your object is following the same perspective grid as your actual object. Okay, so now moving on to the right side, I'm going to demonstrate some common mistakes that I see a lot of people make that make their perspective look a little bit off. Okay, so here I'm doing another train, and we're gonna do a perspective grid here. So that's the correct perspective grid. But let me show you what happens when you don't follow it. So here is the exterior line of the train. Look at that. It's like completely off the grid now, and it almost looks like the train is turning. Now, if that's what you're going for, great. But we want the train to look like it's sitting on the same track as the one on the left, right? So here is an even worse example. This is like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? And I'm going to set up a scene here with the station in the back so you can see that.
The best way to start learning perspective is with boxes. We're going to break down 1 point perspective.
I like this video here because there's not so much not so much people in it, you know? It's just simple. But I don't know how you have to be able to think ahead of time before you actually draw it. It makes my drawings a lot better.
You know, the perspective grids are an invaluable component of drawing backgrounds for animation, and even animation itself is heavily reliant on having proper perspective, yet the entire subject still remains a mystery to even our most studied viewer. Guys had to get those perspective grid on Photoshop.
Point perspective into simple, manageable steps. This lesson is the first step in my ultimate goal to get you to draw in perspective intuitively. That means there's a lot of perspective stuff coming up, so make sure you're subscribed. As always, a bunch of these lessons are going to be free, but if you want the complete experience with all the extended lessons, projects, demos, and critique videos, you can join at any time at proga.com/drawing. Now, let's make sure we understand some key concepts. X, Y, Z axes. In 3D space, we use axes to talk about directions or positions or how something is rotating. Each axis is a different dimension. The x-axis is for width, the y-axis is for height, and the z-axis is for depth. They help us describe where something is or how it's moving in space. So if you're moving a box along the y-axis, you're lifting it up or down along this invisible line. If you rotate something around the x-axis, it's like spinning it around that horizontal line. Imagine a drill spinning in that direction. That's how the object would turn. Horizon line. The horizon line is the line where the ground plane meets the sky. This is typically the first thing you want to figure out to establish the environment. It could be anywhere on the page, up here, down here. It could even be tilted. And this would suggest that you, the viewer, are tilted, making the composition more dynamic. Vanishing point. This is the imaginary point where all the edges of one of the axes on a box converge. A drawing can have one vanishing point, 2, 3, 5 vanishing points, even 27 vanishing points. You can have as many as you want. We're going to stick to one today. And for a while, we're going to keep our vanishing points on the horizon line. Just keep in mind that as soon as we rotate something up or down, that thing is no longer parallel to the ground. And so the vanishing point will no longer be on the horizon because the axis is no longer pointing at the horizon. So a vanishing point represents where in the distance the axis is pointing. All right, so let's
I want to try to add something. Let me try a new one. Man, that's a lot of work just to add a box onto the front.
Another question, which I think is interesting as well. Can you explain the process for drawing curves in perspective, especially when drawing them in both direction on 2-point perspective? Let me use the book for some examples first. There's a whole chapter on complex forms in perspective, and I think the good one is this hyperbolic paraboloids, which uses double curvature. We can talk about that and actually follow a simple tutorial. So here's a simple tutorial. I'll give you the gist of it and then we'll try to do it together. My process for doing these any complex shapes or even complex furniture is starting with a super simple bounding box. So it's just a box that is surrounding that complex objects. Or if it's too complex and in different parts, I'll have multiple bounding boxes first that I'll draw as the first step. Then I can try outlining the leading curves, in this case, the ones that are at the sides. And I also work with cross sections. And then I use so-called contour lines, which go and follow the surface to actually draw this. So let me draw it in here because I already have it prepared. How convenient. So I'll have a point in here, in here, in here, and down there. I'll draw the curve. Drawing a box is not a problem for you, I assume. So I just draw the curve. It's a nice S curve, that's all. you know, and I try to connect these very fluid so I know a little up. From this point to this point, I will go from top down and up again. And
What was I trying to? I can't stop drawing without perspective now.
Quite a common problem we can find ourselves in is that we can watch a teaching video and it makes absolute sense while we're watching it and we can understand it. But when we go from there to what for us is a real life situation, sometimes what seems so obvious in the teaching video is not so easy to apply in real life. And perspective is probably the most confusing subject in drawing streetscapes. 1, 2, and 3 point perspective videos are all over the place on YouTube, which shows what an issue they can be for people. I've got 3 videos myself, one on each of them. Hey, if you haven't watched them, I think they're worth a look. But this video is particularly for people who've watched those videos, but still you're not really sure when you go to draw something, how does that apply to this? Which one of those videos applies to either the scene in front of me that I'm drawing, if at all, or the scene I want to create from my imagination? If I'm copying a scene, either from life or from a reference, then in one sense, I really have to see what I'm looking at and just draw it accurately. I don't really need to understand anything of a theoretical framework. And if I draw accurately, it'll look right. But in my experience, if I understand what I'm meant to be seeing, it's easier to see what's really there and therefore easier to draw it more accurately. And of course, if I'm creating a scene from my imagination, even a 3-dimensional landscape, say for a game, where the viewpoint changes continuously, then I actually have nothing to copy from. And it's even more important to understand how these perspective principles work. My aim is that this video will help equip you to understand the situations where 1, 2, or 3-point perspective apply. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. If you've subscribed to my channel, thanks. If you haven't,
Wow,
and you've
come
watched
on.
some of them and you think they're helpful, then please subscribe, please hit notifications, please comment, please do all the things that you know help grow a channel. I'd really appreciate that. So we'll start with 1-point perspective. When we talk about 1-point, 2-point, 3-point perspective, the point refers to the vanishing point, the number of vanishing points that a certain view of a certain object will create. Therefore, in 1-point perspective, there is one vanishing point. The other thing you need to understand is that the vanishing point sits on the eye level. And the eye level is the level of our eyes as we're viewing the object, or the level of the camera. So in this case, this is the point where the camera was being held. And the reason why it is 1-point perspective is because when we stand front onto an object, or almost front onto an object, then we pretty much see the front face of the object without any change. And the angles of the lines at right angles all meet at a certain point on eye level. This is also 1-point perspective, where it's this roadway, which is the object we're directly in front of, but where in effect, the fronts of these objects we're still looking at front on without any distortion. All of these objects are in 1-point perspective, even though for one of them we're looking directly square on to it. For others, we're looking square on but down, others square on and up, others square on but from the right, or others square on and up and from the left. Because from this viewing point of these objects, there is only one point that all of these lines go back to, one vanishing point. So we need to look out for 1-point perspective.
Perspective is all about creating an illusion of depth. We use perspective to draw simple or even complex forms that feel like they're in a 3D world. In 1-point perspective, shapes recede towards one vanishing point, with one side facing towards the viewer directly. 2- and 3-point perspectives are generally pretty close to what we see in real life, with the forms receding towards more vanishing points. Learning to manipulate basic forms and draw them in perspective levels up our drawing and makes it that much more believable. If you're trying to learn how to draw, make sure to check out
Everyone's got a tutorial on how to do it. They've all mastered it. guys. Take a break from drawing. Should we do some Call of Duty? Call of Booty? Call of Duty. Let's see if it loads. What's going on here? It's not loading. Boo, boo, boo. Is it gonna just load like this again? Alright guys, I think we're gonna end the stream. I don't know why it's not loading. I'm gonna try restarting Steam. Logging in, orange pylon. Why wouldn't it load? Sorry, this game's broken. Like, I mean, you can't play it good. You can't load it. It is utterly broken. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end it. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. You guys have yourself a Wazo day. Take it easy.